there's a lot of old farts on any of the kind of website forums or anything like that who will constantly complain that development and research technology or funding has been put into lots of digital cameras to develop their video functions. And everyone's like, oh, or some of the old farts like, oh, why? I hate it. I want a camera which doesn't have video. Video just makes it annoying, blah, 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 blah. And 99% of the time, I'm just like, oh, old people, just, no. Get with the times. We're in a multimedia society. Taking a couple of photos is one thing. So much of the time we want to do multimedia. We want to be able to capture HD video along with our high resolution megapixel photos and all that kind of stuff. So I'm always like, no, I'm fully in support of all the camera companies spending a lot of money in the research and development for developing the HD functions, the frame rates, all that kind of stuff. Because the development of that, like a lot of people complain about noise in the video settings, which the only way to get that better is to make the sensor better. So that development of the video settings fully helps develop the sensor, or progresses the sensor development as well. It's not something which detracts from anything. However, what I'm getting at here though is the Nikon DF, something which I've ripped in so many times, and I'm still going to rip into it because it's a failure of a camera. But I just now I'm kind of in a situation where I kind of go, I get it. I kind of actually understand why you'd want a camera which just does photos. Because currently at the moment I've got the Nikon D2X, the Fuji S5 Pro, and the Nikon D600, and the Canon 5D Mark II and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a couple of cameras which don't do video and a couple of cameras which do video. Canon do it very well, Nikon is a faff. But recently I was shooting a wedding, and it was a kind of a case of having the option of doing photos and video is too much option. And in doing that, you end up almost it's like juggling. Okay, it's only juggling two balls, but it's like if you can't juggle, two balls is too many. And there is a little bit of a desire, because at the same time I was like, oh, I could totally get some lovely soft shallow depth of field video here, it'd be amazing. But then you kind of go, wait, I need to be like focusing on the composition for the photos and all that kind of stuff. So for a wedding photographer, I totally understand the idea. If you go, I'm the wedding photographer, and at the wedding there's another person who's going to be doing the video, I just want a camera which is going to be awesome at taking photos, and I can focus and just like stare at the camera photo settings and not have to worry about the extra 15 million buttons, the extra 30 menu options of how to fanny around with some video settings. I now get that. I was shooting, so the wedding I was shooting at just the other week, I was shooting with the Panasonic GH4 and the Nikon D600 600, and the Panasonic GH4 does such a good job. The video files straight out of camera are just so good, and the 4K as well. Just like, oh, that's really, really nice. And I was able to mix that in with my GoPro footage as well and all that stuff. So I've got multi-angle video footage of the actual wedding ceremony and stuff like that. And then I just focus on the photos. But at the same time, during some of the getting ready shots, getting the makeup, the hair done, I was taking the photos, but then there's also just every so often bringing in a little bit of video capture footage as well. And for me, yeah, it was a great little thing to have there, but it's just fluff. It's just stuff I'm not going to be using. And it's, if you really want video, get a better video camera. Like, as everything which is micro four thirds is far more functional for video than a full frame digital SLR. Just in terms of, it's got greater depth of field. It's pretty much all the lenses are far quieter in autofocusing. The continuous autofocus is fantastic. The one which I was using was a 7-to-40mm ultra wide angle lens, and it performed flawlessly. Yeah, there's a couple of focus hunts that you'd get every so often, but it was totally silent. So I could be doing I was at one bit where I was fully walking backwards, filming them with the microphone on top, and I didn't have to think that much at all. The camera did all the stuff, and it did a fantastic job. If I did it with the D600, you would hear the motors, you'd hear the VR, the VC, or whatever it is, and it just becomes a bit of a pain in the butt. So what I'm saying is that Nikon, I think you had a good idea with the Nikon DF, which still at this moment is £2,098. Putting the D4 sensor into this camera, fantastic move. What I don't like is the fact that I've done a video on this in the past. It's still got 38 buttons, dials, knobs, and twisty things for a camera which only takes photo. 30, it's something ridiculous like that. And the back screen of it is just like buttons and buttons and buttons and buttons and buttons. It's just like, no, it's meant to be simple. And then on the top, you've got the extra settings of just extra dials, which instead of making the photo process more efficient, more fluid, more intuitive, it's a fiddling, faffing fiddle faff. You just kind of go, if you could just do something like the Nikon D300 and put an awesome sensor in it and just get away with all the extra buttons and the extra live views and the different setting of live view and photo settings for video and all that kind of stuff. And if you just made it slimlined camera which just took awesome photos, that would be so good. I'm now in a situation where I think a camera which just does photos, it means that the instruction book will not be 360 pages, it could be only 220 pages. And it would be just far, I just think that would be good. I think that's, oh God, I don't know where I'm going with this one, but yeah. I am now a little bit with the old farts on the forums that are going, oh, stop putting video in all my cameras. I'm kind of like, video has been fantastic for the development of cameras and you're able to get fantastic footage, but if all you're doing is taking photos, video, all it does is clogs up your menu systems, your setting systems, puts on additional dials, buttons and clickety things which can just all get muddled up and requires so much more faffing around. To be fast, efficient and fluent in your photography, faffing just fannies everything up, and you want to have minimal faff going on. I'm getting old. Yeah, I'm old. Right, rant over. Bye-bye. One thing which I always think about, or which always, oh God, how do I start this? There's a lot of old farts on any of the kind of website forums or anything like that who will constantly complain that